Hello again. In today's video we are going to discuss playing partners and guests in the ForeTees mobile app. This feature allows you to make tee times quicker with folks who are members who you might play with on a regular basis, or guests that you have come to the club a few times a year. By adding playing partners and guests, this makes your tee time booking experience easier and a little bit faster. So as we open the app, the first thing we're going to do is go to the ForeTees page and go to make a tee time. If you notice in the top left of the screen, there's a menu button, and here is where we could manage our playing partners and our guest. So once we get this open, we'll be able to see our partners that we already have or our guests that we already have. So we'll start with the partners here. Alright, you can see that I've already added Craig, and all of my playing partners will show up by Craig's name there. For those of you who already have it, you probably have a few more than just one or two. So today we'll show you how to add one more. Add player, the green button on the right, and you just start typing the person's last name, and just like that you have another playing partner. It's very simple, so when you go to make your tee time in the ForeTees app, those two names will show up right out of the gate, and it'll be a quick point and click and you have your tee time made. So for the guest, you basically do the same thing. You can see I added a couple PGA Tour guys for demonstration purposes, but it works the same. So once we have done that, we'll be able to go back and make a tee time. And from this point, we follow our instructions from the previous video. We're going to select a time, and you can see my name pops up as always. And we go to the player number 2 slot and click that, and you can see my partners already listed there. So I will go ahead and jump over to the guest feature here. This is very important because the guests need to go underneath your name. That's how we know in the shop whose guest it is. So if I'm bringing 2 guests and Brad is joining us as our 4th, we want to list those guests right underneath my name, so us in the pro shop know who's getting billed for the guest. It's important to point out that we will always use your membership passes first unless you tell us otherwise. So as we get our guest going here, I'm going to use Tiger and Rory as my guests today. One thing that you'll notice once I select these guests is that it will not auto-populate their mode of transportation because it doesn't know. So we'll have to do that on our own. As always, it's very important that we have that information. The more information we can get in you making a tee time, the easier everyone's lives are on the back end. So as it loads up here, we can see our guest names, and that list for some of you might be quite long. There is a way to move it. There's a little arrow on the right in your settings that can drag them up and down. And then here I'm adding a new guest because it's someone who hasn't played with us before. Easy as that. Add guest. It's just typing and clicking here. So now the 4th slot is still open, and I got to make sure that I change my transportation for Mr. Scott. Our 4th slot is open, and we're putting the member in this case Brad, last because I am getting charged for the 2 guests that I'm bringing. So once we've done that, it's pretty much all set. We just have to go down to the bottom of our screen and click Submit. Once we do that, it's going to give us a reminder that the guests need to go underneath the member who is bringing them. Just waiting for that message to come up here. There it is. And that is just needs to be confirmed, and as soon as it is, our tee time's done. Thanks everyone. Stay tuned for more videos. We'll see you then.